The camera drifts through a sea of black. No stars, no galaxies, just the soft hum of nothingness. Then a distant echo trembles through the void, faint and ancient, as if the universe itself is remembering. This is where the story begins, not with light, but with a whisper that refuses to die. That echo, fragile and haunting, becomes the first clue to a forgotten truth, that the universe may have lived before, and what we know as creation could simply be an echo of something much older, something erased yet still resonating in the background of existence. As the echo swells, it pulls us into a vision of cosmic time, an endless ocean folding in on itself. The viewer feels suspended between moments, caught between what was and what might have been. The stars we know, the galaxies we see, they are merely the newest layer painted atop an ancient canvas. Beneath that surface lies something silent, something that remembers. Scientists once believed the universe began with absolute nothingness, a blank void waiting for a spark. But modern physics whispers another story. Perhaps there was no true beginning, only transformation. Perhaps every universe leaves behind traces, like ash after a fire, fragments that seed the next cosmic dawn. The silence is not empty. It is alive with hidden vibrations, relics of an era that came before time. Quantum fluctuations, the restless dance of the vacuum, pulse faintly as if reality itself is dreaming. The camera zooms deeper into this invisible hum, where particles flicker in and out of being, creating tiny ripples in the cosmic sea. Those ripples, almost immeasurable, could be the fingerprints of forgotten universes, imprinted into the structure of spacetime itself. The thought is unsettling yet poetic. We live inside a memory, breathing within the afterglow of something that ended long ago. Then light pierces the dark, a slow bloom of color and energy, the faintest glimmer of the cosmos awakening. But even this light feels secondhand, as though it's borrowing its glow from a past that refuses to fade. Every beam, every wave, carries echoes of destruction and rebirth. In this moment, the audience feels the duality of wonder and melancholy, the universe's beauty framed by the tragedy of impermanence. What we see is not pure creation but reconstruction. The cosmos is a story constantly rewritten, each new chapter layered atop the ashes of its predecessors. The narrator's voice softens, describing how space itself may possess memory, a strange, almost sacred concept. The fabric of reality could remember every collision, every collapse, every birth of a star. Gravity, that invisible hand shaping everything, might be the echo of these memories, the universe bending inward, yearning toward what it once was. Scientists detect faint signals, radiation patterns that shouldn't exist, mathematical anomalies that hint at an older order beneath our own. Some believe these are simply cosmic coincidences. Others think they are remnants of a universe that collapsed before ours began. Imagine for a moment that the Big Bang wasn't the beginning, but the rebirth of something older, something immense. What if the universe we inhabit is just the aftermath of a previous reality imploding into itself, rebounding like a breath drawn after suffocation? In this cycle, every universe dies so that another may rise, and yet fragments, subtle, ghost-like, remain. They are carried forward, embedded in the laws of physics, shaping what comes next without ever revealing themselves fully. The haunting possibility emerges. We might be surrounded by traces of cosmic ancestors, their energies woven into the particles that form our world. The visuals slow, showing galaxies forming like memories crystallizing into form. The soundtrack deepens, a low, resonant tone vibrating beneath everything. The audience feels the gravity of time itself, stretching and bending. The universe becomes not an object but a consciousness, one that forgets, remembers, and dreams again. Humanity then becomes the witness of this dream, looking backward into a past that no longer exists yet somehow lingers. Every telescope, every equation, is an act of archaeology brushing away cosmic dust to uncover what has been lost. There is beauty in the idea of the forgotten. The things we cannot recall often define us most deeply. The same may be true for the cosmos. If universes are born and die in cycles, then memory is the bridge between them. Perhaps we are the universe remembering itself, fragments of a story that never truly ends. Each atom, each photon, carries within it the residue of countless past worlds, their struggles, their collapses, their brief flashes of brilliance before fading into dark. A question lingers like smoke. If the universe remembers, what does it forget? What truths have been erased, hidden behind the veil of cosmic expansion? Maybe some laws of physics we treat as constants are simply the scars of old realities, reminders of what once was. Maybe entropy, the gradual decay of all order, is the universe's way of mourning. Every star that burns out, every system that falls into chaos, could be part of that eternal forgetting, that slow dissolution of memory into silence. The tone darkens as the perspective widens, the camera pulling back until everything becomes small, fragile, ephemeral. Galaxies appear as drifting embers, scattered in an infinite void. The voiceover whispers that perhaps what we call the observable universe is just one layer in a much larger story, and that beyond the edge of what we can see, something ancient waits, an echo calling to its reflection. Time itself could be cyclical, bending back upon itself, a loop where the end becomes the beginning again. Yet amid all this cosmic melancholy, there is a flicker of hope. If the universe is capable of remembering, then it is also capable of renewal. Just as death gives birth to life, destruction may give rise to creation beyond imagination. We are not merely the byproducts of a cosmic accident, but living fragments of a greater narrative, a forgotten universe reawakened through awareness. Each discovery we make, each mystery we solve, might be the universe rediscovering its own forgotten truths through us. The echo returns. Louder now. No longer faint, but resonant, like the pulse of something eternal breaking through the veil of time. The audience feels it not through sound but through vibration, deep, physical, ancient. It fills the screen with light and darkness, coexisting in perfect balance. The narrator's voice rises softly as if addressing both humanity and the cosmos itself. Perhaps forgetting is not the end, but the beginning of remembering. Perhaps every silence is only waiting for its echo to return. As the scene fades, the stars ignite once more, one by one, scattered across infinity. The void, once empty, now breathes with purpose. And somewhere beyond the edge of comprehension, a whisper lingers, not of despair but of endless curiosity. The echo has become a question, one that will guide the rest of the journey. If the universe has forgotten its past, what happens when it remembers? In the beginning there was no beginning, only an infinite stillness suspended beyond comprehension. Then, in a moment too brief to measure, the silence shattered. From nothingness erupted everything. But to call it an explosion would be a lie too simple for the truth. It was not chaos bursting forth but something deeper, something intimate, a breath. The universe exhaled, and with that breath, time began to flow. Imagine it. Not as a bang but as an awakening. A slow inhale of existence filling an infinite void. The first light did not burst violently but unfurled like dawn across an eternal horizon. Energy, dense and restless, stretched itself thin, giving birth to space itself. Every direction, every point, expanding simultaneously, like lungs drawing their first breath after a lifetime of holding still. That moment, less than a heartbeat long, became the foundation of everything that would ever exist. The screen glows with a swirling fog of primordial light. The narrator's voice cuts through softly, as if afraid to disturb the newborn cosmos. Time, that relentless stream, begins as a mere ripple. The viewer feels its rhythm, the pulse of creation. For 380,000 years, the universe remained opaque, filled with a plasma so dense that light could not escape. It was a womb of pure potential, a glowing storm where matter and energy wrestled for form. Yet even in that chaos, a pattern began to emerge, simple, delicate, inevitable. The first breath of time was not random. It was music, vibration structured by unseen laws. Tiny fluctuations, smaller than a grain of dust in a desert, grew slowly under the pull of gravity. These imperfections, these tiny ripples in the sea of creation, would one day become galaxies, stars, and planets. The perfection of chaos became the seed of order. It's in this contradiction that the universe found its rhythm, where randomness dances with inevitability, and simplicity gives rise to infinite complexity. The narrator pauses, the tone softens, then sharpens again. Every atom in the human body was born from this first breath. The carbon in our bones, the oxygen in our lungs, the iron in our blood, all of it traces back to this moment of awakening. The first breath was not distant or impersonal. It was intimate. The cosmos didn't just expand outward, it expanded inward, folding the potential of consciousness into the very structure of matter. When we breathe, we echo that original act. The breath of the universe continues within us. The imagery shifts, from the formless expanse to the slow dance of particles forming the first atoms. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, the alphabet of creation. The camera zooms in on one hydrogen atom, suspended in nothingness, its single electron orbiting like a moon around a ghost. This was simplicity incarnate, the first letter in the cosmic language. Over billions of years, these atoms would gather, drawn together by gravity's invisible hand, to ignite the first stars, the forges that would shape all future matter. The section transitions with a rising hum, a tone that grows, trembles, and then steadies, like the first note of an orchestra tuning to life. The birth of time and space is no longer abstract. It becomes visceral. Every vibration, every expansion feels alive. The camera moves outward again, showing billions of particles flowing like cosmic rivers, creating the filaments and voids that would define the universe's architecture. This is the skeleton of creation taking shape, a structure vast beyond imagination, yet perfectly ordered. But with order came sacrifice. For light to emerge, the universe had to cool. The fiery plasma began to settle, and atoms bonded for the first time. With every fusion, a little heat died, and from that death, transparency was born. The universe became clear. The first light was finally free to travel. What we now call the cosmic microwave background is the ghost of that moment. The oldest light, still echoing across time. It is the universe's first photograph, the earliest memory of its own becoming. The narrator describes it as the moment the universe learned to see itself. The light carries the blueprint of everything that followed. The direction galaxies would spin, the balance between energy and matter, the delicate tuning of forces that made existence possible. A fraction of difference and there would be no stars, no planets, no life. The first breath was not accidental. It was precise, impossibly so, balanced on the edge between being and nothingness. It is this perfection that haunts physicists and philosophers alike. How did such order rise from the void? Who, or what, fine-tuned the breath of existence? The tone darkens, becoming more introspective. The narrator questions whether time itself has memory. Could this beginning be only one in an infinite cycle? An exhalation followed by an inevitable collapse and rebirth? If so, every universe might carry within it the faint rhythm of the one before. The cosmic expansion would be nothing more than the inhale of an eternal heartbeat. A terrifying yet beautiful thought, that creation and destruction are one continuous act, inseparable like the rise and fall of a single breath. Visually, the camera moves through expanding galaxies, each one swirling like a nebula of dreams. The scale feels overwhelming yet strangely human. We sense the fragility of everything, how easily existence could have failed, how close the void remains. The voice reminds us that the first breath was not guaranteed. A fraction faster, and the universe would have torn itself apart. A fraction slower, and it would have collapsed back into oblivion. But it didn't. Somehow balance held. In that delicate harmony, destiny found room to breathe. The section transitions again, moving from the cosmic to the personal. The narrator connects the viewer to the universe's pulse. Every heartbeat, every moment of life, tracing back to that initial expansion. It reframes the cosmic story as an intimate one. The breath that gave rise to galaxies is the same that fuels human lungs. The stars are not distant. They are the memory of our own origin. The moment we exhale into the night sky, we return a fragment of that first breath back to where it began. Then comes the contrast, hope against fear. The camera shows the beauty of the early universe, glowing with promise, but overlays it with the haunting possibility that one day, it will all collapse again. The narrator's tone becomes almost reverent. What if the first breath is also the last? What if time itself is cyclical, endlessly inhaling and exhaling universes? In that case, creation is never lost, only transformed. Every death becomes the seed of a new dawn. The music swells not in triumph but in quiet wonder. The scene fades into the glowing edge of a newborn galaxy, its light reaching out across billions of years. The narrator speaks the final lines of the section with measured awe. In the first breath of time, everything that would ever be was already written. Stars, planets, life, memory, all encoded in that singular exhale. The universe did not begin with fire. It began with intention, a breath that carries still through every atom, every moment, every thought. And perhaps, when time itself exhales for the last time, it will not be an ending, but another beginning waiting to be remembered. The light of the newborn cosmos spreads like a mist across eternity, delicate and uncertain, still trembling from the violence of its birth. In its wake, shadows form, not of darkness as we know it, but of something deeper, more elusive. These are the shadows of creation, the unseen structures that cradle the visible universe. We gaze at galaxies scattered like jewels across an infinite void, yet they rest upon an invisible skeleton, a cosmic framework woven from matter we cannot see, cannot touch, but which shapes everything that exists. The mystery begins here, in the unseen, in the hidden architecture that determines the fate of all stars, planets, and perhaps even consciousness itself. The narrator's voice drifts through the stillness, describing how what we see in the night sky is only a fraction of reality. The universe we know, the one painted in starlight, is merely the surface of a far greater truth. Beneath the glowing veil of nebulae and galaxies lies something silent and invisible, dark matter. It neither emits light nor reflects it, yet its gravity bends the paths of stars, warps spacetime itself. Like the unseen hand of a puppeteer, it orchestrates the grand cosmic ballet, ensuring galaxies hold together rather than drift apart. Without it, the stars would scatter like dust in the wind. The universe as we know it would collapse into chaos. The camera glides through vast clusters of galaxies, each one bound together by invisible threads of dark matter. These filaments stretch across billions of light-years, forming what scientists call the cosmic web. It is a structure too vast to truly imagine. A lattice of darkness, where the visible universe shines only at the intersections, like dewdrops on a spider's thread. The contrast between the seen and unseen fills the viewer with awe. The light we worship, the stars we study, are not the architects of reality, they are the byproducts, the traces of a deeper order. The voice grows contemplative. If light reveals what exists, it says, then darkness reveals what holds it together. It is a paradox that stirs both wonder and unease. For centuries, humans have equated darkness with ignorance, with fear, with the unknown. Yet here, in the deepest understanding of the cosmos, darkness is the source of order, the silent architect of creation. Every galaxy, every atom dances to its gravity. Without darkness there would be no structure, no meaning, no life. The story of creation, then, is also the story of what hides beneath it. The visuals slow and the camera dives into a single galaxy. The spiral arms shimmer with billions of suns, each one burning in defiance of entropy. But as the perspective widens, a ghostly halo appears, a sphere of dark matter enveloping it all, invisible yet massive, outweighing the stars within by a factor of 6. The narrator whispers, "The light is an illusion of completeness. The true body of the universe is made of shadow." The statement lingers like an echo, unsettling and beautiful. It reframes everything we believe about existence. The story deepens, moving from cosmic to quantum. Scientists have long searched for the identity of dark matter, the particles that make up this invisible sea. They may be weakly interacting, ghosts drifting through us every second, passing through the earth, through our bodies, through everything we think of as solid. The thought chills and fascinates. We are constantly bathed in this unseen ocean, immersed in a field of invisible particles that shape the stars yet leave no trace upon our senses. It is as if reality itself hides behind a mask, showing us only what it wants us to see. The narrator asks, if the universe is mostly made of what we cannot perceive, what does that say about our understanding of truth? The question echoes into silence. For centuries, humanity believed that seeing was knowing. But in the language of the cosmos, sight is deception. The light from the stars blinds us to the shadows that sustain them. True knowledge may come not from illumination, but from embracing the invisible, from accepting that mystery, not clarity, is the foundation of reality. The film shifts tone, moving from science to philosophy. The narrator draws parallels between the unseen structure of the cosmos and the unseen structure of consciousness. Just as galaxies rely on dark matter for cohesion, thoughts and emotions rely on something unmeasurable, a shadow realm of the mind that defies observation. The hidden gravity of memory, the dark energy of fear and love, shape the architecture of the self. Perhaps the cosmos and consciousness mirror one another, both built on invisible foundations that can be felt but never fully known. The music swells into a low, haunting hum. The imagery turns surreal, the filaments of dark matter transforming into neural pathways, the universe's web merging with the mind's own network. The transition feels organic, as though the universe itself is alive, thinking, dreaming. The narration continues softly, the unseen is not absence. It is potential. It is the seed of all form. This realization shifts the tone from fear to reverence. The darkness, once a source of dread, becomes a sacred mystery, the womb of all creation. But with reverence comes a new fear. What if the unseen also watches us? What if the universe, through its invisible architecture, is aware of itself? Quantum mechanics already hints that observation affects reality, that particles behave differently when watched. If the cosmos is conscious through its invisible fabric, then perhaps every moment of awareness, every act of looking at the stars, is the universe remembering itself. We become both the observers and the observed, the dreamers and the dream. The narrator's voice lowers, almost trembling. What we call existence may only be a shadow projected from a higher dimension, the visible world nothing more than the faint echo of something far more complete. The visuals now bend, distort, galaxies twisting through ripples of unseen energy. Space itself seems to breathe. Viewers are left feeling suspended, uncertain of what is real. This is the emotional center of the section, the moment when awe turns to vertigo, when wonder becomes a quiet fear. Yet in that uncertainty lies beauty. The same darkness that hides truth also protects it. Without mystery there would be no curiosity. Without the unseen there would be nothing left to seek. The cosmic shadows, then, are not barriers but invitations, doorways into deeper understanding. The narrator reflects that perhaps the greatest act of creation was not the universe's birth, but its decision to remain partly hidden. To reveal everything would end the story. To conceal, to whisper, to leave traces, that ensures the story continues forever. As the section nears its close, the music becomes tender, reflective. The camera drifts back across the cosmic web, stars shimmering like tiny candles along infinite strands of darkness. The voice returns, steady and calm. We are creatures of light, born in the heart of darkness. The atoms that form us are the luminous expressions of an invisible foundation. Every heartbeat, every breath, carries within it the gravity of the unseen. The shadows of creation are not distant. They are within us. The final image fades into the faint outline of the cosmic web, dissolving into a single human eye, reflecting a field of stars. The echo of the narrator's final words lingers. What we see is only half the truth. The rest lies in the shadows, waiting, patient, eternal. The screen fades to black, and the silence feels alive, the echo of the invisible reminding us that even in darkness, creation continues. Space is not empty. It bends, ripples, and remembers. The illusion of stillness hides a living fabric stretched across eternity, spacetime, the silent medium through which everything moves. It is not a backdrop but a participant, an unseen ocean upon which every particle, every beam of light, every thought drifts. In its depths, history is not lost. It is woven into the very texture of reality. The universe, it seems, does not forget. It keeps a record of everything that ever happened, not in words or symbols, but in the curves and folds of its own structure. The film opens with a quiet, gliding shot across the void. The camera moves through the emptiness, yet the emptiness moves back. The narrator speaks softly, "Space is not where things happen. It is what happens." The viewer feels the strange truth of this, that the stage and the play are one. The stars are not suspended in space. They are expressions of its geometry, frozen in the act of expansion. Every supernova, every collision of galaxies, every whisper of gravity leaves a mark. The fabric of reality ripples with memory. These ripples are not metaphors. They are real, gravitational waves, vibrations in spacetime itself, carrying messages from events billions of years old. When two black holes collide, they send a tremor through the universe, a faint echo that stretches and squeezes the fabric of existence. It is not sound, not light, but something deeper, the universe's way of speaking to itself. When scientists detected these waves for the first time in 2015, they weren't just listening to space, they were hearing time remember. The narrator's voice carries both awe and melancholy. In that faint vibration we heard not the present but the past. The universe spoke, and what it said was, "I remember." The visuals deepen. We see spacetime not as a grid, but as a shimmering, fluid surface. Each event in history creates ripples that radiate outward forever, never truly fading, only stretching thinner as they travel. The fall of a star, the merging of galaxies, even the first breath of time itself, all of it continues to echo. The past then is not gone, it simply hides in the waves too faint for us to feel. Space is an ocean of memory and gravity is its language. The narrator pauses, the tone softening to near reverence. If the universe remembers, then we are surrounded by ghosts. Every moment of our lives sends a faint ripple outward. The movement of a planet, the birth of a child, the orbit of an electron, all of it leaves an imprint. The cosmos records everything. Perhaps, in some distant region of space, those ripples still move, carrying the memory of the first sunrise, the first heartbeat, the first spark of thought. It is a humbling idea, that nothing ever truly disappears. The fabric of spacetime is not indifferent, it is a witness. We are introduced to the curvature of reality, the way mass and energy tell space how to bend, and space tells matter how to move. This elegant dialogue, described by Einstein, forms the foundation of everything. It is as though gravity itself is the handwriting of existence, etching the story of the universe into invisible form. Mountains, stars, galaxies, all are written into this fluid geometry. When a star dies, spacetime folds inward, creating a wound so deep that even light cannot escape, a black hole. And yet, even there, memory persists. The paradox begins to emerge. Black holes, once thought to erase all information, might in fact store it. Reality, it seems, refuses to forget. The film transitions into a more contemplative tone. We watch time slow near the edge of a black hole, an event horizon where moments stretch into eternity. To an observer, it looks as if the star that fell and never quite vanishes. It just freezes, suspended in time. The narrator's voice becomes intimate, almost like a whisper. Maybe this is how the universe remembers, not by keeping things alive, but by refusing to let them end. In this vision, spacetime becomes not just a fabric but a mind, vast, ancient, and infinitely patient. The camera drifts through waves of gravitational distortion, showing how every mass, every motion, leaves a fingerprint. The Milky Way itself warps space around it like a colossal whirlpool. Even the Earth, small and fragile, bends spacetime ever so slightly. We live within this invisible curvature, walking upon memory without ever realizing it. The narrator compares it to the ripples on a pond after a stone has fallen. Only here the pond is reality and the ripples are the echoes of eternity. Then comes the emotional turn. If space remembers everything, what does it mean for us, beings made of matter moving through time? The narrator reflects. We too are part of this memory. Our existence, our choices, our thoughts, all become part of the curvature. It is a poetic truth that bridges science and soul. The human body itself bends spacetime ever so faintly, our gravity subtle but real. In this sense, even our presence changes the universe. Every heartbeat leaves a mark. Every gesture a ripple. We are woven into the same memory that holds galaxies together. The imagery shifts. The cosmic web appears again, this time shown as a vast tapestry of interconnected waves. Each vibration represents an event, a moment, a life. The music grows soft, contemplative, almost sacred. The film invites the viewer to feel rather than think, to sense the weight of time pressing gently against them. We are not moving through the past is moving through us. Every moment of now carries within it the entire history of the cosmos, folded neatly inside spacetime's invisible threads. The narrator then turns the thought inward, linking it to consciousness itself. If spacetime remembers, the voice says, then perhaps memory is not confined to minds. Perhaps what we call thought is merely a local expression of the universe's remembering. The human brain, with its electrical storms and synaptic patterns, mirrors the geometry of spacetime. Both are networks of connection, both store the past in structure and vibration. Our memories may not be isolated phenomena, they may be echoes of a universal process. When we remember, perhaps we participate in the same act that the universe performs endlessly, the act of holding on to existence. The pace slows once more and silence takes over. The camera moves through deep space, showing faint waves expanding, colliding, merging. The narrator's tone darkens, but even memory fades. The farther a ripple travels, the weaker it becomes. In the end, all waves dissolve into silence. The universe too may one day forget. This introduces the haunting contrast, the eternal struggle between remembrance and oblivion. The cosmos holds its memories tightly, but entropy always waits. Over trillions of years, the ripples will fade, the stars will die, and the universe may once again fall silent. Yet even here hope lingers. The voice softens. Perhaps forgetting is not loss. Perhaps it is the clearing of space for new memories to form. Just as death gives birth to new life, the erasure of old patterns may be the first act of renewal. The universe might forget not out of decay but out of mercy, to make room for what comes next. In this light, the end of memory becomes not tragedy, but transformation. The cosmic cycle of remembering and forgetting becomes the rhythm of creation itself. The final images are slow and hypnotic, waves of spacetime glowing faintly, spreading into darkness. The narrator concludes, every motion, every thought, every heartbeat becomes part of the fabric. The universe does not merely exist, it records. In its folds lie the echoes of every sunrise, every birth, every dream. To look up at the stars is to look into a mirror of memory, a reflection of what the universe has been, and what it will be again. The camera fades to black. The sound of a distant ripple fades into silence. And in that silence, one last whisper remains, not of sound but of feeling, the quiet certainty that even in darkness, nothing is ever truly lost. Light, the oldest traveler, the first messenger of existence. Before life, before sound, before even time could measure itself, there was light. Born from the violent birth of the cosmos, light has never stopped moving. It races endlessly, stitching the edges of reality together, revealing the shape of creation itself. Every photon is a survivor of the beginning, carrying with it a fragment of the universe's memory, a story written in speed and silence. It is both wave and particle, energy and information, truth and illusion. Through light we see the universe, but through light the universe also sees us. The screen opens to absolute darkness. Then a faint glimmer, a single particle of light bursts forth from nothing. The narrator speaks softly, "In the beginning there was motion, and motion became light." The flicker grows, expanding across the cosmic void until the screen is filled with a glowing storm of color and fire. The birth of photons is not gentle, it is an explosion of being. The first light tore through chaos, revealing form, temperature, distance, and possibility. From that moment on, everything that ever lived or died would do so under its gaze. Light does not just illuminate, it defines. Without it, there is no shadow, no boundary, no awareness. In a way, light is what allows the universe to know itself. It moves at the highest possible speed, untouched by time. A photon born from the heart of a star experiences no aging, no decay. For light, the distance between birth and death is instantaneous. To us, billions of years may pass, but for light, it is one eternal now. The narrator reflects, perhaps that is why we find light divine, because it lives outside of time, beyond the slow decay that governs everything else. The camera shifts to a field of stars. Each one burns with its own history, its light traveling across impossible distances to reach us. When we gaze at them, we are not looking into space, we are looking into time. Every star we see is a memory, its light having left centuries, millennia, even billions of years ago. We are surrounded by ghosts of the past, their brilliance reaching us long after their bodies have died. The narrator continues, the light of a dying star may still travel for eternity. In that sense, nothing that shines ever truly disappears. This idea transforms the perception of the night sky. What we see above us is not the present, it is an archive of the universe's past, a vast cosmic library written in photons. Each beam of light that enters the human eye carries information about temperature, composition, distance, and age. Astronomers decode these silent messengers to reconstruct the history of existence. In their observatories, they do not simply watch the stars, they listen to light stories. The faintest shimmer contains tales of galaxies forming, stars collapsing, and atoms fusing into the matter that would one day become us. The film transitions into a visual symphony, the journey of light. We see it emerging from the core of a star, bouncing through plasma and dust, breaking free into the cold vacuum of space. It travels across light years, through clouds of gas and the gravity wells of black holes, bending, scattering, transforming. The narrator whispers, light never stops. It bends, it fades, it hides, but it never ceases to be. Even when absorbed, it becomes part of something else, converted into warmth, energy, life. Every breath we take, every heartbeat, every living moment is powered by ancient light. The sunlight that falls upon our skin is the same energy born millions of years ago in the heart of a star. Then the tone becomes more intimate. The film shows the human face, eyes catching the reflection of dawn. The narrator says, to see is to be touched by the universe. Light enters our eyes and becomes perception, memory, and emotion. It transforms into thought. It becomes art. Through it we paint, we write, we dream. In every photograph, every flame, every color that stirs us, there is a photon, ancient and weightless, bringing meaning to matter. We do not simply look at light, we live through it. The dual nature of light, particle and wave, becomes a metaphor for human existence. The narrator reflects, like light, we are torn between two natures, bound by form yet reaching beyond it. Science tells us that light behaves differently when observed, as if awareness itself alters reality. It can be a particle when measured, a wave when free. This strange truth blurs the boundary between the observer and the observed. It implies that consciousness itself is woven into the fabric of physical law. The moment we look, the universe changes. The act of seeing becomes the act of creation. The camera pans through a particle accelerator, where beams of light dance in perfect symmetry. Scientists study the smallest flickers, trying to decode the mystery of its duality. Yet, beyond all instruments, light remains untamed, an ancient language we are still learning to read. Perhaps light is the conversation between matter and consciousness, the narrator muses. It is how the universe asks, "Do you see me?" and how we answer, "Yes, I do." From here, the film widens its lens to the cosmic scale again. Light bending around a black hole, its path twisted by gravity. This bending, called gravitational lensing, turns distant galaxies into rings of fire. It's as if the universe is distorting its own reflection, showing us that even light must bow before the weight of existence. Yet even when trapped, light finds a way to escape. Photons skimming the edge of a black hole can still flee, carrying with them the signature of that encounter. They become storytellers of the deepest darkness. The narrator's tone turns contemplative. Even in the heart of shadow, light endures. It is a reminder that illumination is not the absence of darkness, but its companion. The universe is not a battle between the two, it is their dance. Without darkness, light has no form, no meaning. And without light, darkness has no depth. Together they create contrast, perception, beauty. In every sunrise, in every eclipse, we see this eternal balance. The film now shifts to a human scale again. A child lights a candle. The flame flickers, fragile yet infinite in symbolism. From the fire of the stars to the flame in our hands, the narrator says, light has always guided us. It led the first humans through the night, helped them draw upon cave walls, chart oceans, discover truth. Across cultures and millennia, it has been the emblem of wisdom, divinity, and hope. Light is the measure of revelation, both physical and spiritual. As the music deepens, the narrative turns philosophical. What if light is not just a physical entity, but the language of consciousness itself? Every thought we have is a pulse of electrical light inside the brain. Every neuron fires with biophotons, tiny flashes of illumination within our cells. The same phenomenon that powers stars also flickers within us. The cosmos burns in miniature behind our eyes, the narrator whispers. We are not made of dust alone. We are made of light remembering itself. In that moment, the boundaries between cosmos and consciousness dissolve. The viewer feels the unity between the external and the internal, between the starlight that fills the sky and the light that fills the mind. We are both the observers and the reflections of what we observe. The photons that once left distant galaxies now rest in our eyes, transformed into vision, into memory, into meaning. The pace slows as we move toward the close. The imagery becomes softer, sunlight breaking through clouds, auroras dancing across polar skies, a city glowing at night. The narrator's voice, now calm and reflective, says, every light you see has traveled through time to reach you. It has crossed darkness unimaginable, carried stories unspoken, and now, it rests upon your skin. In that instant, you and the universe are one. The music fades into near silence. A single photon continues its journey through space, gliding endlessly into the unknown. Light never stops, the narrator concludes. It goes on, carrying the memory of everything it has ever touched. And perhaps, when we too become nothing but memory, our essence will travel with it, another wave in the infinite sea of light. As the final frame fades, the screen turns black again, the same darkness that began it all. Then one final flicker, a pulse of white brilliance, silent but eternal. The stars shimmer across the endless black, scattered like distant fires in a desert of silence. Between them lies the true nature of the universe, not light, not heat, not matter, but an immense emptiness stretching beyond comprehension. The silence between stars is not just the absence of sound. It is the universe's quiet confession, the space where creation pauses to breathe. It is within this stillness that the story of existence unfolds, fragile and alone. For every shining star, there are billions of miles of darkness. The cosmos is mostly void, a near-perfect vacuum colder than anything imaginable. Yet, within this nothingness lies the framework of everything. The narrator's voice drifts softly, what we call empty is not empty at all. It is a silence filled with invisible forces, with the faint hum of existence, with the memories of light long gone. This paradox sets the tone, a meditation on the vast, lonely beauty of space. The film opens with a slow pan through interstellar darkness. No stars, no planets, only the soft glow of cosmic dust drifting like ancient smoke. The sound design is minimal, a faint vibration barely audible like the heartbeat of the universe itself. Then a star appears on the horizon, its light spreading gently across the void. Between stars, the narrator continues, there is space vast enough to swallow 1,000 worlds. And yet, it is in these silent distances that meaning is born. This silence is not lifeless. Quantum fluctuations shimmer invisibly even in the emptiest void, creating and destroying particles that exist for the briefest flicker of time. The vacuum, paradoxically, teems with activity, a restless nothingness, a dance of potential. The universe hums with energy we cannot hear, vibrating beneath the threshold of perception. Even in silence, the narrator says, the cosmos speaks. We are simply too loud to listen. The camera glides through the dark regions between galaxies, vast intergalactic deserts where no starlight reaches. These are realms untouched by warmth or radiation, where a single atom might drift for centuries before meeting another. The sense of scale becomes overwhelming. Here, isolation is absolute. And yet, in this infinite distance, there is elegance, the perfection of balance between existence and absence. Perhaps, the narrator muses, the silence between stars is not emptiness, but equilibrium, the universe at peace with itself. Humanity has always feared silence. On Earth, silence feels like absence, of sound, of presence, of comfort. But in space, silence is the rule, not the exception. It is the canvas upon which everything else is painted. Every burst of light, every cosmic event, every whisper of radiation, all emerge from this stillness. Without silence there would be no contrast, no sense of wonder. The narrator reflects, silence gives meaning to sound. Darkness gives shape to light. Emptiness gives significance to being. The scene transitions to a lone astronaut floating in orbit, tethered to a ship, surrounded by an infinite night. The Earth glows softly below, the only place of color and motion in a sea of quiet. Inside the astronaut's helmet, there is no sound but the rhythm of breathing. This moment becomes symbolic, the human condition mirrored in the cosmos. We are born into silence, the narrator whispers. We fill it with thought, with language, with noise. But the universe remains still, watching. In this stillness there is both fear and comfort. The fear comes from the realization of how small we are, single points of awareness floating in an ocean of nothing. Yet, there is comfort in knowing that even in isolation, we are part of the same vast design. Every molecule in our bodies once drifted through that darkness, carried by the same forces that guide the stars. We are not separate from the silence, we are its fleeting expression. The film dives deeper into this idea, showing how galaxies form and drift apart in a slow cosmic dance. Over billions of years, gravity pulls them together only to let them go. The universe is expanding, and with time, galaxies will move so far apart that their light will never reach each other again. Future civilizations may look to the sky and see only blackness, unaware that there were once billions of suns. The narrator's voice grows somber. The silence between stars is growing. The music of the universe is fading. This is not just a scientific truth but a philosophical one. As expansion accelerates, isolation deepens, not only between galaxies but metaphorically within ourselves. The universe mirrors the human soul. Our search for connection, for meaning, takes place within our own internal silence. The narrator continues, in every human heart there lies a void, vast and invisible. Some fill it with love, some with ambition, some with faith. But in truth, it is the same silence that stretches between the stars. The imagery turns introspective. Cities at night viewed from above, glowing softly like constellations. Lights flicker across the surface of Earth, each representing a fragment of awareness resisting the dark. We build lights, the voice says, because we fear the dark. Yet in every flame we imitate the stars. Humanity's struggle against silence is, in essence, an attempt to echo the cosmos, to create meaning where there is emptiness, to speak where there was none. The narrative returns to the cosmic scale, showing soundless explosions of supernovae, silent collisions of galaxies, and the serene stillness that follows. Even the most violent cosmic events occur in perfect quiet. There is no air to carry sound, no medium for vibration. Destruction happens without noise, an eerie, graceful violence. The greatest storms in the universe are silent, the narrator says. Perhaps true power does not need to be heard. This silence, however, is not indifference. The universe is not cold because it is cruel, it is cold because it is vast. It does not reject us, it simply is. We give it meaning by looking, by listening. The silence becomes sacred when we recognize it as a mirror. In silence, the voice continues, we confront the infinite. We see ourselves not as small, but as essential, the eyes through which the universe perceives its own stillness. A sequence follows where the camera glides through the Milky Way, slowly moving between stars, through clouds of dust, until it exits into the greater void. The colors fade, the stars thin, and finally there is nothing, pure, black, undisturbed space. The narrator's tone grows intimate. This is the space between every heartbeat, between every thought, the pause that allows everything to exist. The silence between stars is the same silence that lives within us. At this point the music fades entirely. The only sound is a faint pulse, like the slow rhythm of time itself. The camera lingers on the darkness, allowing the viewer to feel its weight. The narrator continues softly, "Listen closely. The silence is not empty. It carries the echo of everything that ever was, the first light, the first sound, the memory of creation itself." The silence becomes a kind of presence, a living void that cradles all existence. The final moments shift from cosmic to human again. A person stands alone under a starlit sky, the Milky Way glowing overhead. They exhale and their breath mingles with the cold air. The narrator concludes, "Between you and the stars lies an ocean of silence, vast, ancient, eternal. Yet through that silence their light still finds you. You are never truly alone." The universe speaks not in words, but in the quiet that connects us all. The screen fades slowly to black, leaving a lingering hum, faint, constant, like the heartbeat of the cosmos returning to stillness. The silence between stars is not absence. It is the space where meaning waits to be heard, the pause between the universe's sentences, the quiet reminder that even in emptiness, something profound endures. Time moves differently here. Not in the ticking of clocks, not in the rhythm of heartbeats, but in the slow, unrelenting flow of the cosmos itself. From the birth of the first particles to the collapse of distant stars, time weaves its pattern invisibly, shaping existence without pause. It is the quiet architect, the subtle force that orders chaos, stretching moments into eons and compressing eons into instants. To understand the universe, one must learn to see time not as linear, but as fluid, a river that bends, loops, and swirls across the canvas of reality. The film opens with a visual metaphor, an hourglass, but instead of sand, starlight flows between its chambers. Each grain is a moment, each photon a fragment of eternity. The narrator's voice emerges softly, "Time is not measured by clocks. It is measured by change, by motion, by the unfolding of the universe itself." The image shifts to distant galaxies drifting apart, their light stretched into deep reds by the relentless expansion of space. Here time is not abstract. It is visible, tangible, and infinite. We are introduced to the concept of cosmic time, the scale of the universe itself. One human lifespan is a blink compared to the lifespan of stars. Entire galaxies live and die in what feels like a heartbeat to the cosmos. Black holes persist far longer than civilizations, quietly absorbing mass and memory, their gravity bending both space and time around them. To the universe, the narrator whispers, "We are ephemeral sparks. Yet within us, time moves just as profoundly, weaving meaning into our fleeting existence." The camera drifts through a nebula where stars are born. Clouds of hydrogen collapse under gravity, igniting nuclear fusion. Time here is malleable, slow enough for matter to gather and burn, yet fast enough that light from newborn stars can traverse thousands of light years in an instant. This duality is striking. Cosmic time operates on scales incomprehensible to human perception, yet it manifests in phenomena we can observe. Every star's life is a story written in the language of time, and we, through observation, learn to read its chapters. The narrative explores Einstein's theory of relativity, illustrating how time bends under the influence of gravity and motion. Near a black hole, a second may stretch into years, a lifetime into moments. This is not science fiction. It is the reality of the universe. The narrator reflects philosophically, time is not universal. It is personal, sculpted by circumstance, defined by proximity to mass and motion. Each observer experiences a unique river flowing at its own pace. The visual shows two perspectives, an astronaut hovering near an event horizon, and a distant observer far away, each witnessing the same moment differently. We see light escaping a black hole's gravity well, stretched and redshifted, carrying with it a story of distortion. Time and light are intertwined. The history of the universe is written in the photons that traverse it. The narrator explains, "When we look at distant stars, we are not seeing them as they are. We are seeing them as they were. We are reading the past through the present." The audience begins to understand that every glance into the night sky is a journey through time, a connection across epochs. The film transitions to a philosophical tone. Humans experience time as a linear sequence, past, present, future, yet physics reveals that all moments may coexist. Quantum mechanics suggests that time may not flow the way we perceive it. Particles exist in superposition, their states undetermined until observed. In a sense, time at the smallest scales is probabilistic, uncertain, and fluid. The narrator muses, "Perhaps our sense of history is only one version of reality. Perhaps every moment exists simultaneously, waiting for perception to give it shape. Imagery shifts to the vast cosmic web, galaxies connected by invisible filaments. The narrator observes, the universe is both ancient and eternal. Its memories stretch across billions of years, yet in its structure we see a moment frozen, the past, present, and future entwined. Gravitational waves ripple across space, carrying information about events long gone. These ripples, stretching and squeezing space-time, are echoes of the past, proof that time leaves a permanent mark on the fabric of existence. The narrative then turns inward, exploring human perception of time. Our consciousness measures change, remembering the past, anticipating the future, and experiencing the present as fleeting. Yet, like the universe, human time is relative. A moment of awe may stretch infinitely, a lifetime of monotony may pass unnoticed. The narrator's voice grows intimate. Time is not just measured by the cosmos. It is felt in the pulse of the heart, in the rhythm of thought, in the quiet moments that define a life. The camera visualizes this concept with a montage. A child growing, cities rising and falling, glaciers moving imperceptibly, civilizations fading into history. The viewer sees time's imprint on both the human scale and the cosmic scale. Every choice, every action leaves a mark, the narrator explains. Time carries consequences, memories, and echoes. It is the silent witness to all that was, is, and will be. The section moves into the concept of entropy and the arrow of time. While fundamental laws of physics are time-symmetric, the universe exhibits a clear direction, from order to disorder. Stars burn, matter decays, galaxies drift apart. The narrator elaborates, time is both liberator and destroyer. It gives form to evolution, yet it erases everything in the end. Without time, nothing would change, without change, nothing would matter. The visuals illustrate entropy through collapsing stars, melting ice, and crumbling ruins, the inevitable transformation of all things. The narrative juxtaposes cosmic time with human legacy. Stars may outlive entire civilizations, yet every act, every discovery, every life contributes to the ongoing story of the universe. The narrator reflects, we are brief sparks, yet in understanding time we glimpse eternity. Our lives may be fleeting, but they are threads woven into a tapestry far larger than ourselves. The imagery reinforces this, humans observing the sky, telescopes scanning galaxies, and light from the first stars reaching our instruments after billions of years. Time's paradoxical nature becomes evident as the film explores the universe's potential futures. Will expansion continue indefinitely? Will entropy eventually extinguish all energy, leaving only cold silence? Or could time, like space, be cyclical, an infinite loop where endings are beginnings? The narrator poses, perhaps time is not a river but a circle. Perhaps the end of one epoch is merely the start of another, echoing endlessly across the cosmos. Visuals show simulations of universe collapse and rebirth, galaxies tearing apart and reforming, a cycle of cosmic renewal. The section then considers the human longing to transcend time. Memory, art, and culture are our attempt to stretch moments into eternity. Through stories, music, and architecture, we preserve experience, resisting oblivion. The narrator observes, we seek immortality not in the body but in the echo of time, in the traces we leave behind, in the ripples of consciousness that outlive us. This bridges the cosmic perspective with human aspiration, uniting the scales of existence. The camera returns to the cosmos, drifting past black holes, nebulae, and distant galaxies. Each celestial body is a marker of temporal passage, a monument to the relentless flow of time. Gravitational lensing bends light from the distant past, allowing the present to witness it anew. The universe, the narrator says, is a living chronicle, each moment layered upon the last, each event a sentence in an eternal story. The final moments of the section focus on the human experience of cosmic time. Standing beneath the night sky, a single observer feels the enormity of past and future intertwined. The narrator's voice softens. When we look up, we are not just witnessing the stars. We are touching moments long gone, glimpsing epochs yet to come. Time is the thread that binds us to everything that ever was, and everything that ever will be. The camera pans upward to a final, breathtaking view of the Milky Way stretching across the night sky. Stars shimmer, light bending across space, carrying memory and meaning. The narrator concludes, in the grand tapestry of the universe, time flows like a river and a sea, both gentle and unstoppable. We are fleeting passengers on its current, yet in observing it, in understanding it, we find our place, our story within eternity. The void between galaxies is not empty. It is a space brimming with invisible forces, subtle currents of energy that shape the motion of stars and planets alike. Dark matter, unseen but omnipresent, threads through the cosmos like an ethereal web, holding galaxies together even as they drift through the silent night. We cannot see it, and yet it defines the architecture of everything we know. The narrator's voice begins softly, almost reverently. There is more to the universe than light. Beyond what we can see lies the hidden scaffolding of existence, the ghostly skeleton upon which all reality rests. We glide through a simulation of a galaxy. Swirling spirals of stars rotate around a dense, invisible center. The motion seems effortless, but it is guided by something intangible, unseen by the human eye. This is dark matter, a substance that neither emits nor absorbs light, yet exerts gravitational influence across unimaginable distances. Its presence is inferred from the way galaxies rotate, from the bending of light, from the growth of cosmic structure. The narrator explains, everything we see is only part of the story. Most of the universe is hidden from our senses, a reminder that understanding requires imagination as much as observation. The film delves into the mystery of dark matter. Scientists have tried to detect it directly for decades, using elaborate detectors buried deep underground or launched into orbit. Yet it remains elusive, a silent player in a cosmic drama we can only perceive indirectly. The narrator's tone carries a mix of awe and humility. Dark matter is the invisible hand shaping reality, a presence without form, a ghost without voice. It reminds us that the universe is stranger than we can imagine. The camera zooms out to reveal a vast cosmic web. Filaments of galaxies stretch across millions of light years, interconnected by the gravity of dark matter. Between these filaments lie immense voids, regions almost entirely empty, yet defined by the structure that surrounds them. These voids are not nothing. They are the negative space that gives shape to everything else. The narrator observes, in emptiness the universe sculpts its masterpiece. Without the void there would be no light, no galaxies, no story to witness. Gravity, the subtle sculptor of the cosmos, guides both visible and invisible matter. Stars form in dense clouds of gas, drawn together over millions of years, collapsing under their own weight until nuclear fusion ignites. Galaxies spin, collide, and merge, their motions choreographed by the hidden presence of dark matter. The narrator reflects, the universe is a dance of attraction and resistance, of light and shadow, of seen and unseen. Every orbit, every trajectory, every collision is a note in a symphony conducted by invisible hands. We move closer to a galaxy, observing the motion of stars at its edges. The rotation speed does not match the visible mass. Stars at the outskirts move faster than expected. This discrepancy is one of the earliest clues that most of the universe is dark. The narrator explains, what we can see is only the surface. Beneath it lies an ocean of mystery, currents we cannot measure, forces we cannot touch. And yet, their influence is undeniable. The narrative then contrasts dark matter with ordinary matter. Atoms, molecules, and stars constitute less than 5% of the universe's total mass energy. Dark matter makes up roughly 27%, while the rest is dark energy, a mysterious force driving cosmic expansion. The narrator's tone turns contemplative. The universe we inhabit is mostly invisible, unknown, and perhaps unknowable. What we see is a mere shimmer on the surface of a deeper reality. The film visualizes this hidden cosmos with a luminous overlay of gravitational maps, showing where dark matter congregates. Galaxies cluster along these invisible filaments, their light tracing the outline of a vast, unseen framework. The narrator muses, it is a paradox. The universe is both familiar and alien. The stars above may guide us, yet they float upon a sea we cannot perceive, propelled by forces we cannot name. From here, the story expands into dark energy, the enigmatic driver of the universe's accelerating expansion. While dark matter pulls, drawing matter together, dark energy pushes, spreading galaxies apart at ever-increasing speeds. The narrator's voice carries a mixture of wonder and unease. The universe grows in silence, stretching the fabric of reality, separating what was once close, and reminding us that even the void is not still. We see distant supernovae as beacons across billions of light years. Their light reaches us delayed, stretched by expansion, revealing that the cosmos is not only vast but accelerating. This acceleration challenges every expectation, suggesting that the universe's fate is not static but dynamic, unpredictable, and profound. Dark energy is the ultimate unknown, the narrator says. It is the quiet force that ensures the universe will never be the same twice. The visuals become more dramatic, entire galaxies receding into the darkness, light redshifted beyond recognition, cosmic horizons stretching outward. The narrator continues, "The universe is moving faster than we can imagine, yet we are carried along, unaware, in a current we cannot feel. Everything familiar will one day drift beyond reach, and we will be left with only the faint whispers of what once was." Then the narrative turns philosophical. Humanity seeks to measure, to understand, to categorize, yet most of existence defies perception. The narrator reflects, "We are creatures of light, confined to see what shines. Yet the greater truth is invisible. What we cannot see shapes us as much as what we can." The camera lingers on a telescope scanning the void, humanity reaching for understanding, probing the unseen with curiosity and courage. The film moves into the interconnectedness of cosmic structures. Dark matter binds galaxies into clusters, clusters into superclusters, and superclusters into the cosmic web. Even as space expands, these filaments persist, a testament to the strength of invisible forces. The universe, the narrator explains, is a network of threads we cannot touch, a tapestry woven from shadows. Its beauty lies not in what we can see, but in the structure that gives meaning to light and matter. The narrative explores the mystery of how galaxies evolve within this framework. Some merge violently, forming elliptical giants. Others spin gracefully as spirals. Star formation ebbs and flows, regulated by the unseen pull of dark matter and the push of dark energy. Every pattern of cosmic evolution is influenced by forces we cannot feel directly, yet their fingerprints are evident across space. The narrator says, "We are witnesses to a conversation we cannot hear, participants in a drama written by invisible actors." The section then focuses on the philosophical implications. If most of the universe is invisible, what does that mean for human understanding? The narrator reflects, "Our perception is limited, yet curiosity drives us to expand it. To grasp the unseen is to confront our own humility, to recognize that knowledge is always partial, and mystery eternal." The camera pans to a scientist gazing at simulation data, attempting to make sense of the dark scaffolding holding everything together. The film visualizes future scenarios. As the universe continues to expand, galaxies will drift further apart, light will become fainter, and eventually, the cosmos may approach a state of near-total isolation. Dark matter and dark energy will continue their interplay, shaping the long-term evolution of cosmic structures. The narrator's voice is calm but foreboding. The universe is vast, invisible, and indifferent. Yet in understanding it, we glimpse the profound order behind apparent chaos. Finally, the narrative returns to human connection. Despite the unknowable majority of matter and energy, our curiosity allows us to perceive patterns, detect forces, and infer truths. Though most of the universe lies hidden, we are not helpless, the narrator concludes. Through observation, imagination, and courage, we reach into the darkness, and for a fleeting moment, we understand that the invisible is as real, as essential, and as beautiful as the stars themselves. The section closes with a slow pullback from a galaxy cluster, the unseen web of dark matter glowing faintly in visualization, stretching across the cosmic void. The narrator whispers, "We are small, yet our awareness illuminates the unseen. In the darkness we find truth. In the silence we find meaning. And in the invisible we find wonder." Time fractures near a black hole. Not in the human sense, not in the measured seconds of a clock, but in the very fabric of reality. Space bends, light twists, and seconds stretch into centuries. Here, at the edge of gravity's ultimate grasp, the universe reveals a truth both terrifying and beautiful. That the flow of time is not absolute, that moments are not fixed, and that the cosmos itself can become a mirror for perception. The narrator's voice begins softly. In the presence of immense gravity, time becomes a river with eddies and whirlpools, bending around the unseen anchor of mass. What is past, present, and future may no longer be distinct. The film opens with a visual of a black hole's event horizon, a perfect circle of darkness surrounded by a halo of twisted light. Photons caught in orbit streak like luminous ribbons, moving endlessly yet trapped. The narrator explains, the event horizon marks the point of no return. Anything crossing it, matter, light, even time itself, is forever altered. It is here that the universe demonstrates both power and mystery, the ultimate boundary between known and unknowable. The narrative moves inward, exploring the warping of spacetime predicted by Einstein's general relativity. Near a black hole, time slows relative to distant observers. An astronaut hovering at the edge may experience hours while the rest of the universe ages centuries. This distortion is not metaphorical, it is measurable, real, and undeniable. The narrator whispers, "Gravity can stretch existence itself, creating a lens through which the universe is seen differently by each observer. Time is no longer universal, it becomes personal, relative, infinite in its subjectivity." Visualizations illustrate these concepts. Clocks tick at differing speeds, stars bend in strange arcs, and light spirals inward, creating a vortex of motion that defies intuition. The narrator adds, "We are accustomed to linearity, to moments following one another. But here, near the edge of collapse, linearity dissolves. Past and future blur. The cosmos reveals the fluidity of all things." The section transitions to black holes as cosmic memory keepers. While their interiors remain shrouded in mystery, the information of infalling matter may not be lost entirely, as suggested by recent theories of quantum mechanics. The narrator muses, "Perhaps a black hole is not a grave, but a library, a record of everything it has consumed, encoded in a language we have yet to understand." This idea bridges physics and philosophy, suggesting that even in ultimate destruction, order and knowledge may persist. The film shows simulations of matter spiraling into black holes, forming accretion disks of incandescent gas. Friction and gravity heat the material to unimaginable temperatures, emitting X-rays and gamma rays that radiate outward. These high-energy lights tell a story of violence and creation, of energy transformed and redistributed across the cosmos. Even in collapse, the narrator says, light escapes, revealing the drama within the darkness. The narrative then explores the concept of singularities, points of infinite density where known physics breaks down. Here, space and time collapse into one, and the rules of the universe as we know them cease to apply. The narrator's tone grows solemn. At the singularity, the universe holds its breath. It is a place beyond comprehension, a reminder that not all knowledge is attainable, and that mystery is as fundamental as existence itself. From cosmic scales, the story narrows to human perception. Imagine watching a star fall toward a black hole. From afar, the star appears to slow, stretched and smeared by gravitational time dilation. To the star itself, the journey is swift, violent, inevitable. The narrator reflects, reality depends on perspective. What one experiences as an instant may appear eternal to another. The universe teaches that understanding is always relative, that certainty is fragile, and that perspective defines truth. The section explores the paradoxes black holes create. Hawking radiation, predicted by Stephen Hawking, suggests that black holes are not entirely black. They emit particles, slowly evaporating over time. This interplay of creation and destruction, of presence and absence, is both subtle and profound. Even the darkest regions of the universe are never truly silent, the narrator observes. They whisper secrets of origin, transformation, and impermanence. The visual narrative expands to a cosmic scale again. Entire galaxies orbit invisible centers of gravity, supermassive black holes at their cores, shaping motion, star formation, and galactic evolution. The universe is a dance choreographed by the unseen, a testament to forces both violent and delicate. Gravity is both sculptor and destroyer, the narrator says. It bends matter, light, and time itself into forms we can perceive, yet its true essence remains hidden. The film moves to the philosophical implications of black holes. They challenge concepts of determinism, of linear time, and of ultimate knowledge. If information is preserved or lost, if time can be stretched infinitely, what does this mean for reality? The narrator muses, black holes are reminders of our limitations. They are questions written in darkness, answers perhaps forever beyond reach. The visuals then depict a hypothetical journey into a black hole. Light warps, stars elongate, the colors shift into surreal spectra. The narrator describes, to enter would be to leave familiar existence behind. Space would curve into itself, time would fold, and perception would dissolve. Yet even here, beauty exists, patterns and light, rhythm and chaos, a silent poetry of the cosmos. The narrative returns to human observers. Astronomers detect gravitational waves, ripples in spacetime caused by black hole mergers. These signals travel across billions of light-years, carrying with them the story of colossal collisions, the echo of titanic forces shaping the universe. We listen to the universe, the narrator says. Through these waves, we feel the heartbeat of black holes, the pulse of creation and destruction entwined. The film contrasts fear and awe, showing the destructive power of black holes alongside their role in cosmic evolution. Supermassive black holes regulate star formation, sculpt galaxies, and maintain equilibrium across the cosmos. They are not merely annihilators but also organizers, ensuring balance within the universe's vast structure. Destruction and creation are inseparable, the narrator observes. From the abyss emerges order, from collapse the seeds of renewal. The narrative then turns reflective, considering human fascination with black holes. They inspire both dread and wonder, symbolizing the unknown, the ultimate boundary, and the potential infinity beyond our comprehension. In studying black holes, the narrator says, we confront our mortality, our curiosity, and our place in the vast tapestry of existence. The film illustrates the scale of these objects. A supermassive black hole can contain millions or billions of times the mass of our Sun, yet occupy a relatively tiny region of space. Its influence extends far beyond its size, shaping orbits, directing matter, and guiding cosmic evolution. Power in the universe, the narrator reflects, is not always obvious. Sometimes it is hidden, silent, yet absolute. Finally, the section contemplates the ultimate fate of black holes. Will they evaporate over trillions of years? Will their energy seed new cosmic structures? Will they persist beyond all else, silent witnesses to a cold, fading universe? The narrator concludes, black holes are both end and beginning. They are reminders that the universe is stranger, grander, and more mysterious than we can imagine. In their darkness we find questions, in their gravity, a force that binds existence itself, and in their silence, a reflection of eternity. The final shot pulls back from a glowing accretion disk, through the spiraling arms of a galaxy, and into the black canvas of space. The narrator whispers, time, space, matter, and light converge at the edge of the unknown. And there, at the boundary of everything, the universe waits, patient, infinite, and eternal. The universe hums with hidden rhythms, patterns that are invisible to the eye yet govern every motion, every collision, every spark of light. From the smallest quarks to the largest superclusters, there is order beneath apparent chaos, a subtle architecture underlying the cosmos. This structure is mathematics made manifest, a language older than time, shaping reality in ways both delicate and immense. The narrator begins softly, the universe speaks in patterns. It whispers in equations, sings in geometry, and dances in symmetry. To see these rhythms is to glimpse the mind of creation itself. The film opens with a visualization of the cosmic web, filaments of galaxies stretching across the darkness, connected by gravity and shaped by the unseen flow of dark matter. Stars twinkle along these filaments, tracing lines that suggest both randomness and profound order. Every star, every galaxy, is part of a larger design, the narrator continues. The universe is not chaos, it is a symphony composed over billions of years, playing a melody we are only beginning to hear. From the vast to the minute, the narrative explores the hidden patterns in particle physics. Quarks, electrons, and neutrinos move according to precise rules, their interactions governed by fundamental forces. Each collision, each decay, each fusion event is a small but essential note in the universal rhythm. The rules of the very small echo across the very large, the narrator explains. From quantum fields to galaxies, the same principles guide the dance of existence. Visualizations show atoms forming, colliding, and transforming, their motions choreographed by invisible laws. The narrator's voice is contemplative. In every reaction, in every bond, there is symmetry and balance. Nature does not act randomly, it follows an elegant script, written in the language of mathematics. Light bends around massive objects, planets orbit in predictable ellipses, and galaxies spiral gracefully, all manifestations of these unseen rules. The section delves into the philosophical implications. Humans perceive order and pattern because our minds are attuned to recognize structure, yet the universe operates independently of perception. The cosmos does not need to be understood to exist, the narrator reflects. Patterns exist whether we see them or not, silent laws woven into the very fabric of reality. The visual transitions to fractals, from snowflakes to river networks, illustrating self-similarity across scales, a microcosm reflecting the macrocosm. Mathematics emerges as the bridge between perception and reality. Equations describe forces, motions, and probabilities, predicting phenomena with extraordinary precision. From the orbit of Mercury to the paths of distant galaxies, mathematics maps the invisible scaffolding of existence. Numbers are not mere symbols, the narrator says. They are the universe itself, translated into a form our minds can grasp. The narrative introduces symmetry as a central theme. In particle physics, symmetry dictates interactions and conservations. In the cosmos, symmetry appears in spiral galaxies, planetary orbits, and even the cosmic microwave background. Symmetry is the signature of order, the narrator observes. It is the universe's way of writing coherence into the chaos, of ensuring that creation is not arbitrary but meaningful. Visual sequences illustrate resonance and rhythm. Planets vibrate subtly, stars oscillate in pulsations, and galaxies rotate in elegant patterns. These oscillations are not random, they are part of a cosmic harmony, a music written into matter and space itself. The narrator whispers, the universe sings though we may not hear it. Every motion is a note, every force a chord, and every structure a verse in the endless song of existence. From here, the section examines chaos and complexity. Even within strict laws, systems can behave unpredictably. Weather, planetary motion over eons, and turbulent gas clouds all exhibit emergent behavior. Order arising from underlying rules, patterns appearing spontaneously. The narrator explains, complexity is the offspring of simplicity. Out of the basic laws, astonishing diversity emerges. The universe is both orderly and unpredictable, a balance between determinism and freedom. The narrative explores how these hidden patterns allow for the formation of life. Molecular structures, chemical reactions, and planetary stability all depend on precise relationships. The narrator muses, without the rhythms of the cosmos, without the hidden patterns, there would be no stars, no planets, no water, no life. The universe is structured to create itself, and in that structure we find our origin. Visualizations depict molecular chains forming, oceans settling, and life emerging from chemical interactions guided by universal laws. The film then turns to the aesthetic dimension of patterns. Humans are drawn to symmetry, proportion, and rhythm because they resonate with the structure's underlying reality. Architecture, music, and art reflect the universe's intrinsic order, echoing cosmic harmonies in human expression. We are children of the cosmos, the narrator says. Our minds seek and replicate the patterns that gave birth to us. Beauty is recognition, a reflection of the universe in ourselves. The narrative explores Fibonacci sequences in nature, spiraling shells, sunflower seeds, and hurricane formations. These mathematical principles are not imposed but arise naturally, as if the universe has a preference for certain forms. The narrator observes, patterns emerge because they are stable, efficient, and elegant. They are solutions written into the fabric of reality, waiting to be discovered. The camera pans across galaxies, showing the repeating spiral structures that mirror the Fibonacci principle. Stars orbit predictably, gas clouds collapse along defined angles, and black holes anchor the rotation of entire systems. From the smallest atom to the largest supercluster, the narrator continues, patterns are the glue that binds existence, giving shape to chaos and coherence to the void. The section delves into symmetry breaking, the subtle imperfections that make complexity possible. Without these tiny deviations, the universe would remain homogeneous, lifeless, and static. It is in imperfection that structure and diversity arise. The narrator reflects philosophically, order and disorder dance together. Perfection would be sterile. It is the irregularities, the asymmetries, that allow life, growth, and consciousness to exist. Visuals depict galaxy collisions, turbulent gas clouds, and planetary systems forming, controlled chaos generating complexity. The narrative moves to human attempts to understand these patterns. Telescopes, satellites, particle accelerators, all tools to decipher the hidden structure of the cosmos. We reach outward, the narrator says, because the universe's patterns are not just in the heavens, they are imprinted on everything. To understand them is to touch the mind of creation. Visualizations show scientists analyzing data, overlaying maps of cosmic structure, and modeling the forces that govern reality. The final part of the section reflects on wonder. Understanding patterns does not diminish mystery, it deepens it. Every discovery reveals new layers of structure, new hidden symmetries, and new questions. The more we see, the narrator whispers, the more we realize the universe is infinite, intricate, and sublime. Its patterns are both a guide and an invitation, to explore, to marvel, and to participate in the ongoing creation of meaning. The section closes with a panoramic view of the cosmos. Spiral galaxies, glowing nebulae, and the faint web of dark matter stretch across space. A slow zoom out shows the interconnectedness of all things, from atoms to stars to galaxies. The narrator concludes, "In the rhythms, in the symmetries, in the hidden structures, the universe speaks. And in listening we find not only understanding but connection, a place within the infinite song of existence." The universe is not static. It pulses with motion, energy, and transformation, a restless entity in which change is the only constant. Stars ignite and die, galaxies collide, and black holes consume and reshape everything around them. Even the emptiest void is alive with subtle movements, quantum fluctuations, and gravitational whispers. The narrator begins, "Change is the heartbeat of the cosmos. Nothing remains as it is, yet in this relentless transformation, patterns emerge, life forms, and meaning unfolds." The film opens with a supernova exploding, a brilliant flash that outshines its entire galaxy for a fleeting moment. Gas and dust are hurled into the surrounding space, seeding future generations of stars and planets. "Every death carries the seed of creation," the narrator continues. "The universe rebuilds itself from the remnants of its own destruction." Visuals show the material slowly coalescing into new stars, planets forming over millions of years, highlighting the cycle of birth and death at cosmic scales. Time-lapse sequences illustrate galaxies colliding, their stars weaving intricate dances under the influence of gravity. Spiral arms stretch and twist, while central black holes draw matter inexorably toward them. The narrator reflects, "Even in violence there is grace. Chaos has rhythm and destruction fosters renewal. The cosmos is a perpetual workshop, crafting complexity from simplicity, life from void." The narrative shifts to planetary formation. Dust grains and protoplanetary disks collide, stick, and grow, eventually forming planets and moons. This process, governed by the laws of physics, is slow yet inevitable, a testament to the universe's tendency to organize itself. "Transformation is everywhere," the narrator says. "From the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, change shapes reality, building structures that endure for eons." The section explores chemical evolution and the origin of life. On young planets, energy from stars drives reactions in primordial oceans, forging molecules that will eventually assemble into cells. This interplay of chemistry, physics, and environmental conditions is a form of cosmic alchemy. Life itself, the narrator explains, is an emergent property of transformation. It is the universe observing itself through the lens of change. Visuals depict microscopic structures forming, molecules joining into complex networks, and early cellular life swimming in warm, nutrient-rich waters. The film examines entropy, the inexorable increase of disorder, and how it paradoxically allows for order to emerge. Stars burn, planets cool, and energy spreads, yet within this process complexity arises. Destruction and creation are two sides of the same coin, the narrator observes. Without decay nothing could evolve. Without endings, beginnings would have no meaning. This duality is illustrated through sequences of collapsing stars, forming black holes, and emerging nebulae, the universe recycling itself across scales. The narrative moves to human perception of change. Our lives are fleeting compared to cosmic timescales, yet we are intimately connected to these processes. Every atom in our bodies has passed through stars, undergone chemical transformation, and been incorporated into countless forms before arriving here. "We are the children of change," the narrator says. "The cycles of the universe flow through us. We are both witnesses to and participants in cosmic transformation." Visual metaphors bridge human and cosmic scales. Trees shed leaves in autumn, rivers carve valleys, glaciers advance and retreat, all mirrors of processes unfolding in space. Patterns repeat across scales, the narrator explains. Change is a universal language written into matter, energy, and life itself. This creates a sense of connection, showing that transformation is not just external but embedded within our experience. The section then delves into stellar life cycles. Massive stars burn brightly and die young, while smaller stars linger for billions of years. Supernovae scatter elements essential for life, including carbon, oxygen, and iron. Stars are alchemists of the cosmos, the narrator observes. Through their lives and deaths, they transmute raw energy into the building blocks of planets, life, and civilization. Visual sequences show the formation of planetary systems from these enriched stellar remnants. Next, the narrative examines galactic evolution. Galaxies merge and interact, triggering bursts of star formation and shaping the morphology of the universe. Spiral galaxies, elliptical giants, and irregular formations arise from complex gravitational interplay. The narrator reflects, even the grandest structures are subject to change. Nothing is permanent, Yet in impermanence there is beauty, structure, and purpose. Visuals depict billions of stars colliding, stretching, and coalescing over eons, emphasizing scale and drama. The film explores the subtle transformations in empty space. Quantum fluctuations create temporary particles, gravitational waves ripple outward from distant events, and light stretches across expanding space. These invisible changes are as real as any star burning or galaxy merging. Even the void is alive with motion, the narrator says. The universe evolves not only in form but in the unseen, the intangible currents that shape all reality. The narrative highlights time's role in transformation. Processes that seem slow or imperceptible to humans, cooling planets, star formation, cosmic expansion, are ongoing on scales that dwarf lifespans. Yet, these slow changes accumulate, creating profound effects over billions of years. Time is the canvas upon which change paints, the narrator muses. Without it, transformation would be impossible. With it, the cosmos becomes a story of infinite complexity. The section explores cycles of renewal on planets. Volcanic activity reshapes landscapes, oceans rise and fall, atmospheres shift. Life adapts, evolves, and diversifies in response to environmental pressures. This planetary dynamism reflects the same principles operating across the cosmos. Change is both challenge and opportunity, the narrator observes. It drives evolution, innovation, and resilience. Without it, existence would stagnate. Human creativity is positioned as a reflection of cosmic transformation. Art, culture, and science all arise from our response to change, the need to interpret, adapt, and express. In observing the universe, the narrator explains, we mirror its processes within ourselves. Transformation becomes both external and internal, shaping reality and consciousness alike. Visual sequences show cities growing, inventions emerging, and communities adapting over time, paralleling cosmic evolution. The narrative turns to catastrophic change. Asteroids strike planets, stars explode, and black holes consume matter. These violent transformations are part of the universe's rhythm, creating new conditions for life and structure. Destruction is not mere loss, the narrator reflects. It is a prerequisite for creation, a force that reshapes reality and opens space for the new. Dramatic visualizations depict impacts, shockwaves, and subsequent regeneration across cosmic landscapes. The film emphasizes interconnectedness. Transformation in one region can propagate across vast distances. A supernova enriches interstellar clouds, which form new stars, planets, and eventually life. Change cascades, linking seemingly disparate events into a coherent story. Everything is connected, the narrator observes. No transformation occurs in isolation. Every event resonates across space and time, weaving a tapestry of continual evolution. The section culminates in a meditation on impermanence and wonder. Change is not only inevitable, it is essential. It is the source of creativity, diversity, and discovery. The narrator concludes, the universe is a river of transformation, and we are both travelers and participants. In every collapse, every birth, every subtle shift, we witness the ceaseless rhythm of existence, the eternal dance of matter, energy, and time. The final visuals span from microscopic molecular motions to the swirling arms of galaxies, emphasizing the unity of transformation across all scales. Stars pulse, planets rotate, and quantum fluctuations shimmer invisibly. The narrator's voice fades softly. Change is the universe's gift, its constant reminder that nothing is fixed, nothing is final, and everything is alive in the ever-unfolding story of existence. Light is the universe's messenger. It travels across incomprehensible distances, carrying the story of stars, galaxies, and the vast voids in between. Every photon is a fragment of history, a bridge between the past and the present, a testament to the cosmos' ceaseless motion. The narrator begins, to see light is to see time itself. Every ray that reaches us is a whisper from the past, a signal that has journeyed across the abyss to tell us the universe's secrets. The film opens with a sunrise over a distant planet, its star casting long shadows across alien terrain. The camera pulls back to reveal the galaxy beyond, light stretching across space, illuminating nebulae and star clusters. Light travels tirelessly, the narrator continues. It escapes gravity's grasp, traverses voids, and carries information from the dawn of creation to our eyes. It is both a guide and a record, illuminating what was, what is, and hinting at what may come. The narrative delves into the physics of light. Photons move at the universe's ultimate speed, yet they are subject to the curvature of spacetime. Gravity bends their path, black holes trap them, and expanding space stretches their wavelength. Visualizations depict light warping around massive objects, arcs of color twisting through gravitational lensing. Light is both messenger and map, the narrator says. It reveals the shape of space, the presence of mass, and the hidden structures of the cosmos. From galaxies to atoms, light interacts with matter in profound ways. Absorption, reflection, refraction, and scattering reveal composition, temperature, and motion. Spectroscopy allows scientists to decode these signals, translating colors and patterns into knowledge. The narrator explains, every photon carries a signature, a story of its origin. By interpreting these messages, we unlock the universe's secrets, seeing what is otherwise invisible. The section explores cosmic phenomena visible only through light. Supernovae flash across the darkness, pulsars emit precise beams, and quasars blaze with energy. Each event illuminates the mechanics of the universe, from stellar death to black hole activity. Light allows us to witness extremes, the narrator observes. It bridges distances that would otherwise isolate us, connecting observer and event across billions of years. We move into the concept of the electromagnetic spectrum. Beyond visible light lies infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays, each revealing different aspects of reality. Telescopes tuned to these bands uncover hidden features: star-forming regions, energetic jets, and the cosmic microwave background, the faint echo of the Big Bang. What we see is only a fraction, the narrator says. The universe shines in ways our eyes cannot perceive, inviting curiosity, exploration, and awe. The film highlights the role of light in measuring cosmic expansion. Redshift stretches light from distant galaxies, a signal of the universe's accelerating growth. Observing this allows scientists to reconstruct history, determine distances, and infer the presence of dark energy. Light is a clock, a ruler, and a compass, the narrator explains. It tells us where we are, how fast we move, and how the cosmos has changed over time. The narrative explores the dual nature of light, particle and wave, a mystery that has challenged physicists for centuries. Quantum mechanics reveals that photons can interfere, diffract, and exist in superposition, defying classical intuition. Light is the universe's paradox, the narrator muses. It is tangible yet ephemeral, precise yet uncertain, revealing the fundamental strangeness at the heart of reality. Visuals show photons interacting in experiments, creating interference patterns and demonstrating entanglement. Next, the section examines the intimate connection between light and life. Photosynthesis captures starlight to fuel ecosystems, driving the energy cycles of planets. Vision allows organisms to navigate, perceive, and interact with their environment. Life itself depends on light, the narrator says. It illuminates existence both literally and metaphorically, guiding growth, perception, and survival. Visuals transition from sunlit forests on Earth to alien landscapes, highlighting the universality of light's influence. The film explores the speed of light and its role as a cosmic speed limit. Nothing can surpass it, and yet light's journey is relative. Time dilates, distances stretch, and causality is constrained by the finite speed at which information can travel. Light is both messenger and constraint, the narrator explains. It defines what can be known, what can be influenced, and how events unfold across space and time. The narrative highlights light as a storyteller. When we observe a star, we see it as it was, not as it is. The farther the distance, the older the light. Galaxies millions of light years away show a universe in its infancy. We are time travelers, the narrator whispers. Through light, we peer into the past, witnessing moments that shaped everything we know. Visualizations show galaxies at various stages, illustrating cosmic evolution through the lens of light. The section examines cosmic phenomena revealed only through light detection. Pulsars pulse with remarkable precision, X-ray binaries flare with sudden intensity, and gamma-ray bursts release energy equivalent to the total output of billions of stars. Light exposes extremes, the narrator observes. It reveals processes that are violent, rare, and beyond ordinary comprehension, yet integral to the universe's story. The film transitions to human innovation, showing telescopes and detectors extending our perception. From optical observatories to space-based instruments, humanity has learned to capture light across the spectrum, revealing the unseen. Through these instruments, light becomes knowledge, the narrator explains. We translate photons into understanding, turning illumination into insight. Visual sequences depict scientists analyzing spectra, mapping galaxies, and observing transient events across the universe. The narrative delves into the concept of cosmic background radiation. The faint glow left over from the Big Bang permeates space, a relic that light carries across 13.8 billion years. It is a whisper from the universe's birth, providing clues about its origin, structure, and evolution. Even in silence, light speaks, the narrator says. It carries the memory of creation, a faint but persistent echo of the cosmos' earliest moments. The film examines light's interaction with gravity. Gravitational lensing bends and magnifies light from distant objects, allowing observation of galaxies otherwise hidden. Light curves around massive clusters, revealing both visible and invisible mass. Gravity sculpts light, the narrator observes. Through this bending, the universe discloses its hidden scaffolding, a cosmic X-ray of what lies beyond sight. Visualizations illustrate lensing effects, arcs, and distorted galaxy images. The narrative emphasizes the philosophical dimension. Light is not merely illumination, it is connection. It bridges distances, communicates history, and conveys truth. To follow light, the narrator muses, is to follow understanding. It is to trace the universe's path, to read its memory, and to witness its ongoing creation. Visuals depict photons traveling from distant quasars, passing through interstellar gas, and reaching human detectors, illustrating the chain of observation and interpretation. The section concludes by reflecting on human experience. Every glance at the stars, every ray of sunlight, every shimmer in the void carries meaning. Light is both a physical phenomenon and a conduit for wonder, shaping perception, knowledge, and imagination. In light, the narrator concludes, we find evidence of the universe's grandeur, a bridge between observer and cosmos, and a reminder that every flicker, every photon, is a story waiting to be told. The final visuals show a slow zoom out from a planet bathed in starlight, through nebulae and galaxy clusters, to the vast expanse of the observable universe. Streams of light crisscross the void, carrying history, energy, and information. The narrator's voice softens, light is the thread that weaves past, present, and future. It is the universe speaking, and through it we listen, learn, and marvel. The universe is a landscape of extremes, where matter and energy coexist in states that defy imagination. From the blazing cores of stars to the frozen expanses between galaxies, reality stretches across unimaginable scales. In this vast arena, phenomena occur that challenge perception, intuition, and even the laws we think we understand. The narrator begins, the cosmos is a theater of extremes. Heat and cold, light and darkness, motion and stillness all converge to create a reality more extraordinary than any human mind could conceive. The film opens with a visualization of a neutron star, a collapsed stellar remnant with a density so extreme that a single teaspoon of its material would weigh billions of tons. Magnetic fields spiral outward, curving light and shaping the surrounding plasma. In these compact titans, the narrator continues, matter is compressed beyond imagination, a testament to nature's power and precision. Visual sequences illustrate the star's intense gravitational pull, bending spacetime itself. From here, the narrative explores black holes, the ultimate extremes of gravity. Event horizons mark boundaries where escape is impossible, and singularities represent points of infinite density. The narrator explains, black holes embody the universe's most extreme conditions, where the rules of physics are stretched to their limits, and the familiar gives way to the extraordinary. Visualizations depict accretion disks glowing brightly as matter spirals inward, emitting X-rays and gamma rays in violent bursts. The section examines temperature extremes. Stars burn at millions of degrees, while interstellar space can plummet near absolute zero. The cosmos is a spectrum of thermal extremes, the narrator observes. It hosts furnaces that forge elements and voids that preserve silence. Life, matter, and energy dance across these extremes, each shaping the other. Visual sequences show stellar fusion in detail, from hydrogen ignition to supernova explosions, contrasting with the icy stillness of distant molecular clouds. The narrative shifts to pressure and density. White dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes compress matter beyond conventional understanding. A sugar cube-sized piece of neutron star material would outweigh mountains on Earth. The narrator reflects, the universe tests the limits of matter. In its extremes, it reveals both fragility and resilience, order and unpredictability. Visual simulations illustrate the intense gravitational curvature and matter compression at these extreme scales. The film examines magnetic extremes. Magnetars, highly magnetized neutron stars, generate fields trillions of times stronger than Earth's. These fields twist plasma, emit bursts of high-energy radiation, and warp nearby spacetime. Magnetism shapes reality in ways we can barely grasp, the narrator explains. It governs motion, energy, and matter, revealing unseen forces that sculpt the cosmos. Visualizations depict plasma arcs dancing along magnetic lines, energetic flares erupting, and space itself rippling under their influence. The narrative moves to velocity extremes. Particles near black holes, cosmic rays, and light itself push the limits of speed. Relativity constrains motion, yet near light speed travel produces time dilation, length contraction, and mass increase. Velocity becomes a portal to the extraordinary, the narrator observes. At these extremes, our understanding of time, space, and causality stretches and bends. Visual sequences show particle jets emitted from active galactic nuclei, streaking across intergalactic space with breathtaking energy. The section delves into density and void. Cosmic voids, enormous regions almost entirely empty, juxtapose against dense clusters of galaxies and interstellar gas clouds. The narrator reflects, the universe is a study in contrasts. Vast emptiness coexists with intense density, teaching us that extremes define the cosmos as much as its balance. Visuals illustrate the cosmic web, showing filaments of galaxies separated by immense voids, emphasizing scale and structure. Next, the narrative explores energetic extremes. Gamma-ray bursts release more energy in seconds than the sun will emit over its entire life. Supernovae forge heavy elements, scattering them across space. Energy shapes everything, the narrator says. It builds worlds, powers stars, and sculpts the universe's history in bursts of unimaginable force. Visual sequences show the brilliant flash of a gamma-ray burst, followed by the dispersal of stellar remnants into surrounding space. The film examines light and radiation extremes. From radio waves traveling across galaxies to the highest energy cosmic rays, the electromagnetic spectrum reveals the cosmos' variety. The universe speaks in light, the narrator explains. From gentle whispers to explosive shouts, each wavelength tells a story, revealing extremes in energy, frequency, and intensity. Visuals show multi-wavelength observations of a galaxy cluster, combining radio, optical, and X-ray data. The narrative considers chemical extremes. Stars synthesize elements under extreme temperature and pressure, while interstellar space hosts rare, fragile molecules and tenuous clouds. Matter adapts to extremes, the narrator observes. From fusion furnaces to frozen molecular clouds, the cosmos demonstrates resilience and creativity under conditions that would destroy life as we know it. Visuals transition from the fiery cores of stars to delicate interstellar molecules glowing in infrared imagery. The section explores temporal extremes. Cosmic events occur over vastly different timescales. Pulsars rotate in milliseconds, planets orbit over centuries, and cosmic expansion stretches across billions of years. Time itself has extremes, the narrator muses. Some processes are fleeting, others eternal, yet all contribute to the unfolding narrative of the universe. Visualizations show time-lapse sequences of planetary orbits, star formation, and galaxy mergers. The film delves into gravitational extremes. Black holes warp space, tidal forces stretch stars into streams, and galaxies orbit massive unseen centers. Gravity is the sculptor of extremes, the narrator observes. It bends space, warps time, and defines motion, creating conditions beyond ordinary experience. Visual sequences depict stars being torn apart near black holes and gravitational lensing revealing hidden mass. The narrative examines cosmic rays and particle extremes. High-energy particles traverse interstellar space, colliding with atmospheres and creating showers of secondary particles. In these extremes, matter and energy push boundaries, the narrator says. They remind us that the universe is a laboratory of endless possibility and danger. Visualizations illustrate cosmic ray interactions and particle showers in the upper atmosphere. The section explores human perception of extremes. Extreme temperatures, radiation, pressure, and gravity challenge imagination and understanding. We can measure, simulate, and theorize, but direct experience is impossible, the narrator explains. Yet through observation we witness the universe's power, scale, and intensity, marveling at its capacity for the extraordinary. Visuals show simulations comparing human-scale objects with cosmic extremes for perspective. The film contrasts extremes with equilibrium. Despite violent forces and vast emptiness, the universe maintains large-scale coherence. Galaxies orbit predictably, cosmic structures persist, and patterns emerge from chaos. Extremes coexist with balance, the narrator observes. The universe thrives on tension, contrast, and the interplay of forces, crafting a cosmos both wild and ordered. The narrative transitions to philosophical reflection. Extremes challenge perception, inspire awe, and reveal the limits of understanding. They push science, imagination, and curiosity to their edges. By witnessing extremes, the narrator concludes, we confront the universe's grandeur, recognize our smallness, and celebrate our capacity to observe, imagine, and learn. The section closes with a sweeping visual journey, from a neutron star's surface to intergalactic voids, from gamma-ray bursts to molecular clouds, emphasizing scale, energy, and contrast. In extremes, the narrator whispers, the universe tells its most profound stories, inviting us to marvel, to question, and to dream beyond the familiar. Consciousness is one of the universe's most enigmatic phenomena, a spark of awareness arising from matter and energy. From the firing of neurons to the experience of thought, perception, and emotion, consciousness bridges the physical and the intangible. It is at once deeply personal and universally mysterious, a lens through which the cosmos perceives itself. The narrator begins, consciousness is the universe looking back. It is the awareness that emerges when complexity reaches a threshold, a signal that reality has become self-reflective. The film opens with a visualization of the brain, neurons firing in luminous patterns, electrical signals leaping across synapses. Within this intricate network, the narrator continues, thoughts emerge, memories form, and the sense of self takes shape. Every experience is a product of physical processes, yet it feels irreducibly real. Visual sequences illustrate information traveling along neural pathways, depicting the complexity and elegance of cognitive systems. The narrative delves into the origin of consciousness. How did awareness arise from matter? The section explores theories from biology, neuroscience, and philosophy, showing that consciousness may emerge when systems reach sufficient complexity. Perhaps consciousness is not an accident, the narrator muses. It is a natural outcome of organization, a reflection of the universe's tendency to create patterns that can observe themselves. Visuals transition from human brains to networks of neurons in simpler organisms, highlighting the evolutionary continuum. Even insects exhibit forms of awareness, decision-making, and learning, suggesting that consciousness is not binary but graded, a spectrum shaped by evolutionary pressures. Awareness exists in degrees, the narrator explains. From basic perception to abstract thought, consciousness evolves, adapting to the demands of survival, curiosity, and complexity. The film explores self-awareness. Humans can reflect on their own thoughts, imagine futures, and contemplate mortality. Self-reflection is the hallmark of advanced consciousness, the narrator observes. It allows us to question, create, and understand not only the world but ourselves. Visual sequences depict humans in introspection, observing the cosmos, writing, creating art, and probing the unknown, demonstrating the intertwining of thought and exploration. The narrative shifts to perception. Our senses filter and interpret information, constructing a coherent reality from a barrage of stimuli. Yet perception is always limited and subjective, shaped by biology, experience, and context. Consciousness is a lens, and like all lenses, it distorts, focuses, and selects, the narrator says. Visualizations show how the brain processes light, sound, and touch, constructing a seamless experience from discrete signals. Memory is another cornerstone of consciousness. Neurons encode experiences, forming networks that allow recall, learning, and identity. The narrator explains, without memory, consciousness would be a fleeting spark, unable to connect past, present, and future. Memory grounds selfhood, experience, and understanding. Visual sequences illustrate synaptic strengthening, neural networks forming, and recollections unfolding in cinematic sequences. The film examines emotion, a driving force of consciousness. Joy, fear, curiosity, and awe arise from complex interactions of neural circuits and chemical signals. Emotion colors perception and shapes decision-making, the narrator observes. It is the bridge between thought and action, intuition and reason, self and world. Visuals depict faces in expression, natural scenes evoking wonder, and the physiological responses of the body to stimuli. The section explores the interplay of consciousness and language. Symbols, words, and abstract thought allow humans to communicate, record knowledge, and transmit culture. Language is consciousness externalized, the narrator explains. It transforms inner awareness into shared understanding, connecting minds across space and time. Visual sequences show writing, speech, and digital communication bridging distances and generations. The narrative turns to altered states of consciousness. Dreams, meditation, and psychedelic experiences reveal the malleability of perception, memory, and thought. The mind is not fixed, the narrator says. It can expand, shift, and transcend ordinary experience, offering glimpses of reality beyond the immediate and familiar. Visualizations depict surreal landscapes, neural activity during REM sleep, and patterns representing cognitive shifts. The film examines consciousness in other species. Dolphins, elephants, and corvids display problem-solving, empathy, and social awareness, suggesting that awareness is widespread and diverse. Consciousness is not solely human, the narrator observes. It is a spectrum, emerging wherever complexity and interaction allow a system to perceive itself and its environment. Visual sequences depict animal intelligence in dynamic, cinematic detail. The section delves into the philosophical implications. Consciousness raises questions about free will, identity, and reality itself. If awareness arises from physical processes, what does it mean to choose, to feel, or to exist? Consciousness challenges the divide between matter and mind, the narrator muses. It is both product and participant in the universe, shaping and being shaped by existence. Visualizations illustrate abstract representations of choice, perception, and selfhood. The narrative explores the relationship between consciousness and time. Awareness allows beings to perceive sequence, causality, and continuity. Without consciousness, time would be an external measure, the narrator explains. Through thought, memory, and anticipation, time becomes experience and reality becomes narrative. Visual sequences show individuals recalling events, planning futures, and interacting with changing environments. The film examines the brain's complexity. Hundreds of billions of neurons, trillions of synapses, and vast networks give rise to thought, perception, and creativity. From physical matter emerges mind, the narrator observes. Consciousness is a property of complexity, a signal that organization can reflect upon itself, generating insight, emotion, and wonder. Visualizations depict dynamic networks of neural firing, highlighting both structure and emergent patterns. The narrative considers the mystery of subjective experience. Qualia, the felt quality of experience, remains deeply enigmatic. Why does perception feel like anything at all? Experience is both intimate and universal, the narrator whispers. It is the universe knowing itself from within, a phenomenon as ordinary as it is extraordinary. Visual sequences illustrate color, sound, and tactile experiences in immersive, cinematic ways. The section explores consciousness in artificial systems. AI and computational models mimic aspects of perception, learning, and problem-solving, prompting questions about awareness and selfhood. Consciousness may not be confined to biology, the narrator muses. Where complexity and integration exist, awareness may emerge in forms we have yet to imagine. Visualizations depict AI networks, simulations, and robotic learning interacting with the environment. The narrative emphasizes the interconnection between consciousness and the cosmos. Awareness allows the universe to observe itself through living beings, linking matter, energy, and mind. Through consciousness, the narrator reflects. The cosmos becomes self-aware, reflecting on its own patterns, history, and possibilities. Visual sequences show humans observing stars, galaxies, and cosmic events, connecting inner thought with external wonder. The film highlights creativity as a unique manifestation of consciousness. Music, art, literature, and science arise from the mind's ability to imagine, synthesize, and transform experience. Creation is consciousness externalized, the narrator explains. It allows the universe to explore infinite potential through thought, expression, and innovation. Visual sequences show artists, scientists, and writers producing works inspired by observation and imagination. The section concludes with a reflection on the mystery and beauty of consciousness. It is fragile yet pervasive, personal yet universal. Consciousness is a beacon, the narrator concludes. It illuminates existence, transforms perception into understanding, and connects the mind to the cosmos. In every thought, every sensation, every dream, we witness the universe knowing itself, a testament to wonder, complexity, and the eternal pursuit of understanding. The final visuals depict neurons firing, people observing the stars and cosmic vistas, emphasizing the continuum between mind and universe, self and cosmos, thought and creation. The narrator's voice softens. Consciousness is both gift and mystery, the bridge between what is and what can be, the echo of the universe within itself. Memory is the bridge between past and present, shaping identity and perception. Every experience leaves traces in the brain, forming networks of neurons that encode, store, and reconstruct events. Memories are not static. They evolve, blend, and sometimes distort, reflecting both reality and interpretation. Strong emotions leave the most vivid marks, linking feeling and recollection in an intimate dance of mind and experience. Beyond individuals, collective memory preserves culture, knowledge, and history through stories, art, and ritual, connecting generations across time. Memory is intertwined with imagination, allowing the mind to combine fragments of the past into visions of the future, fueling creativity, problem-solving, and exploration. It is also fragile. Trauma, disease, or age can alter or erase what was once known, revealing the delicate architecture of cognition. Through memory, humans navigate the world, understand themselves, and participate in the universe's unfolding narrative, transforming fleeting moments into lasting significance. Imagination is the mind's realm of possibility, where reality is reinterpreted and new worlds are conceived. It allows humans to envision what does not yet exist, blending memory, perception, and emotion into novel ideas. From artistic creation to scientific discovery, imagination drives innovation, exploration, and empathy, letting the mind simulate futures, consider alternate realities, and inhabit other perspectives. Neural networks coordinate sensory input and abstract reasoning, producing thought patterns that give rise to creativity and insight. Imagination shapes culture, philosophy, and technology, enabling both individual expression and collective progress. It operates within constraints of biology and experience, yet reaches toward the infinite, connecting consciousness with the cosmos. Through imagination, humans extend understanding, probe the unknown, and participate in the universe's unfolding story, turning vision into creation. Time is the silent framework of existence, shaping change, causality, and perception. On human scales, it stretches and contracts through consciousness. Moments of awe feel eternal, routine dissolves into brevity. On cosmic scales, stars are born and die, galaxies merge, and light travels across billions of years, recording the universe's history. Time intertwines with entropy, establishing direction, and with relativity, bending under gravity and velocity. Memory, anticipation, and consciousness transform its flow into experience, narrative, and meaning. Biological rhythms, cultural systems, and technological tools externalize time, guiding action and preserving knowledge. Time is both relentless and intimate, shaping life, identity, and the cosmos. To perceive time is to perceive change, continuity, and the unfolding story of existence itself. Imagination is the mind's frontier, a realm where reality dissolves and possibility takes shape. It allows humans to envision what does not yet exist, blending memory, perception, and emotion into novel ideas. From art to science, imagination fuels creativity, problem-solving, and innovation, letting the mind simulate futures, explore unknowns, and inhabit perspectives beyond the self. Neural networks coordinate sensory input and abstract reasoning, producing patterns of thought that give rise to insight, vision, and invention. In art and culture, imagination materializes inner worlds, transforming feeling and thought into music, painting, literature, and performance. In science, it anticipates discovery, modeling phenomena before observation, and proposing hypotheses that expand understanding. Imagination enables empathy, allowing humans to envision others' experiences, bridging minds across space, time, and circumstance. Collective imagination shapes civilizations, guiding technological advancement, societal structures, and cultural expression, connecting individual creativity to shared progress. Despite constraints of biology and experience, imagination reaches toward the infinite, transforming perception and extending cognition. It is both a personal journey and a universal faculty, linking the mind to the cosmos. By envisioning possibilities, humans participate in the unfolding story of existence, translating observation into understanding and potential into creation. Imagination is the lens through which the universe is reinterpreted, explored, and expressed, making the unseen tangible and the unknown imaginable. Through imagination, humans dream, discover, and create, shaping reality while simultaneously transcending it. It is a bridge between memory and aspiration, consciousness and cosmos, thought and expression. Imagination transforms experience into insight, vision into action, and wonder into understanding, allowing the mind to navigate the infinite landscape of possibility. In this realm, the mind both mirrors and molds the universe, revealing the extraordinary potential of awareness itself. Time is the invisible thread weaving all existence into a continuous flow. From the flicker of a thought to the birth and death of stars, time shapes change, causality, and perception. On human scales, it stretches and contracts. Moments of wonder feel eternal while routine passes unnoticed. On cosmic scales, galaxies collide, stars live and die, and light travels across billions of years, carrying the history of the universe. Time is the river in which all things flow, the narrator reflects, relentless, indifferent, yet intimately connected to our consciousness. The section explores the dual nature of time, objective and subjective. Physics describes its laws, from entropy defining direction to relativity bending intervals near massive objects or at near light speeds. Consciousness transforms time into experience, memory and anticipation, giving life narrative and meaning. Biological rhythms like circadian cycles, aging and seasonal migrations encode time in living systems, linking microcosm to macrocosm. Human culture externalizes time through calendars, clocks, and history, allowing coordination, planning, and the preservation of knowledge. Time also carries philosophical weight. It frames mortality, growth, and legacy, offering both urgency and perspective. Every moment is fleeting, yet each contributes to the ongoing story of self, society, and cosmos. In quantum systems, time interacts with probability and uncertainty, suggesting multiple potential futures and the vast landscape of possibility. Through observation, reflection, and imagination, humans navigate this river, making choices, creating, and understanding their place within the continuum. Ultimately, time is both medium and mystery, shaping existence from the smallest moment to the grandest cosmic epoch. It records change, guides perception, and structures reality. To perceive time is to witness the universe's unfolding story, to connect past, present, and future, and to recognize one's fleeting yet meaningful presence within the eternal rhythm of existence.